Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. This is the Olympic edition. I'm Hello Dory, and I'm joined here in the medal stand with this year's winners. Please tell me your name and your winning event.
Hello, Dory. My name is Sally Nunez, a.k.a. the 15-Minute Girl, and I won for throwing what they call the long fit, and that's the longest continuous fit on the show, and I'm still throwing it.
Thank you.
I'm Tampa Steve, and I hold the gold medal in the pun-tathlon.
What is a pun-tathlon?
Well, I set the record for telling the most puns in 60 minutes.
Interesting.
And no pun intended.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mario Nunez. I'm the co-host of the Tampa Native Show, and I won for Long Talk.
Tell us about long talk.
Well, that's sort of like what Kenny G does. You may know it as circular breathing. It's when he breathes in and out, and he holds that continuous note. It's basically talking nonstop for 60 minutes, 65 minutes. You know, sometimes you just can't have dead air on a live TV show, and you just need to continue to talk. And I set the record personal best.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to say?
Yes. Live from the studios at TVCN, it's the Tampa Native Show. Oh, a little long, guys?
The Tampa Native Show starts right now.
Otra vez. Come here. Let me tell you something. I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, those precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. I remember Tampa, and she remembers me. Yeah. She remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Native Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-Minute Girl, and Steve Canella.
She remembers me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tampa Native Show Olympic Edition. My name is Mario Nunez, and I'm seated alongside my broadcast partner here to my left is
Sally Nunez, the
a.k.a.
15-Minute
the
Girl.
15-Minute Girl and gold medal winner. And over to my far left is
Steve Canella,
Steve Canella.
a.k.a. Tampa Steve.
Tampa Steve, or as this week we know him as Captain Pun. Listen, we're having a great time here at the Tampa Native Show, as we always do.
We do.
And we will take a risk every now and again on live TV and
Have fun.
And brought that together for you just moments before we went on the air. But we're having a great time, and today we're talking all things Olympics, because who doesn't have Olympic fever by this time?
Yeah, you don't. You're not going to get it.
That's right.
I mean, you hear that little song, and all of a sudden, you know, just something happens, man. You get pride in your country. You want to see somebody win something, get on that gold medal stand. And it seems like the athletes are getting younger and younger each and every year.
It does, especially gymnasts.
The gymnasts have always been young. And
Yeah, but they look just tiny now.
and now we've actually got swimmers that are, you know, 14, 15 years of age. So it's really impressive. A gold medal winners at 17 this year. And, well, we're just having a ball here on the Tampa Native Show. So hard by your phones, we'll be asking for your calls in just a little bit, as we always do. We'd like to welcome those fans back to our show. Those fans that are always with us, and we hear from you throughout the week. You call us on our comment line. We ask you to call us, and you do. And we also find out through our IT department that some of you are checking out our websites from places that are as bizarre as some of these countries that are participating in the Olympics.
Really strange.
I'd like to defer now to our resident IT director, Tampa Steve.
This is also known as the IT department.
Mr. Puntastic. Tampa Steve, tell us what you found out this week.
Well,
I think our fans will find it most interesting.
Well, we have a really neat thing on the website, tampanativeshow.com. You can actually see who's coming to the site, how many hits, where they're going, they're actually typing into Google or Bing or whatever search engine they're using, the actual phrase. Really cool.
That is cool.
But we're getting viewers for the show from all over, not only the country, not just Tampa, all over the world. In fact, I compiled a list here of just some just from last week, so I'm going to read those real quick here.
Yeah, do that.
Just to show you how far-reaching this show is. Lenexa, Kansas, Las Vegas, Nevada, Monrovia, California, Superior, Wisconsin, Colchester, Vermont. How about this one here? Curitiba, Brazil. We know who that is, Ricky T. Parnell. Now this one is interesting. This one is from Moscow City, the Russian Federation, and the name of their internet provider is called the Beeline. Pretty cool, huh?
That is.
In Russia.
That's amazing.
Wonder who that could be.
I don't know. Well, a couple. Yeah, good question.
Do we have any
former
Tampa
Tampa native
natives
living in
in-
Russia, maybe?
Yeah.
A couple more. We had one last week from Palermo, Sicily, going to the website. Australia, Barcelona, Guayaquil, Ecuador, which we know who that is probably.
That's
Yeah,
got to be
that's
somebody
Stephanie's
related to
Stephanie's
the
friend or cousin,
of
right?
course.
That makes sense.
Beaufort, Georgia, and Amsterdam, Netherlands. So
Well,
it's really,
welcome
really fun.
to all of you, and thanks
Yeah,
for
thank you.
viewing our show.
Thanks for tuning in. We do look great tonight, man. The Olympic rings behind us
We
look
do.
good. I stood a little too close to I think the barber got a little too much off the top today, but that's a fresh haircut.
Yeah.
But listen, man, Olympic gold, we're wearing it, and we're bringing it. And this is what we do here at
We're
the
going
Tampa
for the
Native
gold.
Show. We're going for the gold tonight. We love our first-time callers, so if you're a first-time caller, we'll know. Please let us know. We might just send you a special gift your way. We do love our first-time callers. So make sure that when it comes time, you pick up that phone and you let us know, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm calling for the first time. We also
Make sure you give us your Bolita number because first-time callers are often winners.
They
in
almost
the
always.
Bolita.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. We also like our watch party viewers. So if you're out there and you've got a watch party going, and you know, a watch party could constitute 1 or 2 people, man. If you could set that camera up
as long
on
as
your
you're
TV
watching. That's
set
about
that
it.
camera up there on the auto timer and
the
let it
only
take your
requirement.
picture. Also, don't forget next week, we're just a little heads up next week, we're going to have on the show with us again, Miss Argudo, Stephanie's mom. Stephanie will be back with us as well. And we want to show her as many photographs of our viewers out there with their bags of Chiefless products. So we've already got 2. We've
Help
got
us
Larry
out.
Cotton and we've got Tom from New York.
Great.
Help us out. Send a picture of yourselves with your product.
Yeah.
And we'll show it next week. I think Miss Argudo will get a great kick out of it.
Do I count? Can I
And
show
of
mine?
course, and you know, maybe your host will have their pictures as well. It'll be a great tribute, and Miss Argudo will get a big
There's
kick
any
out of
left.
that. So,
Somebody's been eating them all.
wow.
And we're going to show the rest of those photos too that from the show last week.
Yeah.
We'll show
Yeah,
those
there's a
again
lot of
and
really
ask
neat
Miss
photos.
Argudo to fill in the blanks what we didn't
Right.
get done last
Right.
week. Thank you to our sponsors, as always, our sponsors without whom their
We wouldn't
generosity
be
and their love, we wouldn't be here. We encourage each and every one of you to go to our website and check out our sponsors. There's a sponsor tab there. Stevie put together a tremendous website for us. Easy
you,
to
Steve.
navigate.
Thank you. IT
Easy to
department.
navigate. IT department. Easy to navigate. And once you get to the sponsors, each one of those sponsor icons, photos, little images, that's a link as well. It's a hyperlink. So if you click that, it takes you directly to their page. And
Pretty
we've got
cool how
some
that
great,
works.
great sponsors.
Please
Visit our website at tampanativeshow.com, and when you do, Stevie will know you've been there because your little IP address is registered right up there.
I'll know who you are.
Isn't that
We're
cool?
tracking,
Isn't
yeah.
that cool? So we know who's watching, sort of. We know where those are coming from, and we love our out-of-town
We
visitors.
love all our fans, but the ones that are from really far away, that's really,
Russia-
really cool.
Russia has
That,
me
I don't have
intrigued.
no idea.
That was interesting.
We've
No
seen some
idea.
Washington, D.C. there before,
Yeah.
and we figure that's probably just Big Brother looking in on us. That's all right. And we know who Curitiba, Brazil is whenever we get the South America ones. But when
Yeah.
we get those ones from the Russian Federation, man, that's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We thought the Cold War was over, but they're checking us out, man. Tampa Native Show.
Yeah.
The comment line, we'll throw the number out there for your consideration at the top of the show. It's 813-920-2508. Thank you, Mary, and thank you, Tati, for your calls last week. We got those. And believe me, that phone line is monitored. So, you know, if you don't get your comment in on the 60-minute edition of our live show, you can always call us there. Tell us, hey, I couldn't get in, but I wanted to let you know that I'm so-and-so, and this is how I related to your show. And we'll record that and play it next week on the show.
Operators are standing by.
Operators
They
are
are.
standing by currently. And of course, you can always reach us at show@tampanatives.com. Show@tampanatives.com if you want to send us an email or a photograph in an attachment. That's one great way to do it. I've got a big note to myself here, Steve. I don't even need my glasses to read that. Can you
Need
see
vendors.
yours?
I can see it from here.
What does it say, Steve?
Need vendors.
Need vendors. Well, tell us what that means, Johnny. We made an appeal last week. If there's anybody out there in our viewing audience that either has the business or knows somebody that has the business, we're looking to try to get some lettering on the back windows of our respective vehicles so we can advertise the show as we're driving around. Of course, the RNC's coming to town in a couple of weeks, and we want to be able to advertise the Tampa Native Show. Something very simple, tampanativeshow.com. Sharing your memories has never been this much fun, but we need somebody to do that for us. So if you have anybody out there who has that business, please call the comment line and let us know. Also, we'd like to make some business cards, so if we've got anybody in the printing business out there, and we've got a heck of an idea for a t-shirt that we'd like to lay on you.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there's got a t-shirt business and you'd like to work with us, to partner with us, we'd like to hear from you as well. Give us a call, 813-920-2508. So, you still throwing that fit, darling?
You know it.
She's bringing the good stuff, man.
Look who I'm sitting next to.
She's bringing the good stuff.
Any questions?
I guess that makes me Captain Long Talk. Let me just throw out there also,
Yes,
before we get
let's
ready
do
to
that
go to
here.
our phones. A good friend of ours this week was stricken down on Monday, man. He ended up having a little TIA or a little stroke or something. But anyway, Wayne Vigil, if you're out there watching, and we hope that you are, we want you to get better, man, so you can get back on the softball field and do what you love to do. Wayne was in the hospital this week. And we also like to say happy birthday shout outs to Debbie Hill Rummel, to Kathy Campbell Reisinger, and to Chris Napoli, man. 3 great Tampa natives who all share a birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Isn't that cool?
I knew it was Debbie's. I didn't know
Isn't that cool?
That
Happy
is.
birthday, girls.
The question, and Chris.
And Chris, sorry, guy.
Chris has got a beard. Chris with a beard. The question of the day today, since we're
This is a
talking.
good one.
I think it's a good one, and I think it's thought-provoking, and I think
is.
that you guys should have fun answering this.
We'll
It
have fun,
serves
too.
2 purposes.
Yeah.
It lets us know maybe what your favorite event might be, but it also lets us know how you would like to participate in the Olympics. Okay, here's the question. So when you call in, you got to give the 15-minute girl your Bolita number, but you've also got to let us know if you could be an Olympian in any sport, Summer Olympics, in any sport, what would it be? Stevie, what would you do?
Mine would be Taekwondo, and that's because I practiced Taekwondo for about 12 years, and I did
got
have a black belt
experience.
in Taekwondo.
There you go. Do you ever lose your black belt? Can I throw that out there? And I don't mean to say this
That's
in
a
a
good question.
disparaging way, because you could put me in a hammerlock right now and we can
Take
wrestle
it.
it out. But I mean, do
Demoted
you,
or
or do you have to
something.
kind of keep your qualification?
No, you don't lose it actually. You don't lose your rank per se.
Okay.
You may lose if you're out of practice. You may lose some of your skills.
Form, some of your
Some
form,
of your
sure.
forms, your skills. If I were to go back now, I've been away from the school, professionally, for about 6 years. If I go back now, I'm still a black belt.
That's cool,
with
man.
so many stripes, I'm almost to.
Do you ever use it?
Well, I mean, one thing about Taekwondo, it's really you use it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really not martial arts. It's not to beat people up. It's not
Fitness,
to,
balance.
Yeah.
It's really for control.
Right.
For discipline.
Right.
Stress relief?
For stress relief, it's everything. It's more of a
Yeah.
it's more of a psychology, you might say,
Yeah.
than it is a martial art.
Metaphysical.
Excellent.
Right, right.
So we got you down for Taekwondo, and you know what? It makes sense, man. It makes perfect
Why is
sense.
that?
Well, because you're a black belt. in
Oh, okay,
Taekwondo.
well, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect you to come out with the 4-man skull or kayaking. Right? Come on, man. That's just too off the beaten path.
Yeah.
But how about you, darling?
I would like to try rowing. I think that I have broad shoulders.
There
I
you
have
go.
pretty strong arms.
All
I think
right.
that would be fun, and it appeals to me. So I think I would try that.
And there's a lot of girls that were introduced to that sport.
I wish
as-
they'd had it when we were.
as a means to get a college education, because it wasn't too long ago that Title IX came into being, and one of the sports that a lot of girls gravitated towards in high school, I know if we'd have had daughters, we'd have probably encouraged them to do the same thing, was rowing. Because
Yeah.
we know
I
it
think
too,
I
because the
really
University
like
of Tampa
that. Yeah.
every year during the winter months, when the schools from up north come down here, the Ivy League schools, to compete
Right.
along Hillsborough River, we get to see it, and a better workout I don't think there is.
No, it's
That's
really
one hell of a
good.
workout.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
I like that. I like that. I guess that would be my third favorite, if I could say. And we had a
You can
little.
only have one favorite
Okay.
here.
So my favorite would probably I'd probably want to compete in the decathlon, only because it's kind of the premier studly thing to do. Because you got to do so many things, and you got to do so many things well, and it's
Right.
cumulative. And you got to run the hurdles, and you got to run the 440, and you got to pole vault, and you got to throw the javelin. So there's so many different elements that come into play. I think that the decathlon is very cool. Although I have to say that when here I'm exhibiting my long
Still
talk.
talking.
I'm still talking.
You have the gold medal.
We know
Gold
why you
medal
want
here.
it
I'm
here.
wearing it right here.
It's appropriate.
Archery is kind of cool too.
It is.
I would like that too.
I like archery.
Archery is kind of, with the compound bows,
Yeah.
the competitive compound bows that these guys use, and gals.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the stuff that we used to buy down at the TGY with the little suction cups on the end of it, man. This is some impressive
Well, we
stuff.
had archery in gym.
We did. We had
Yeah.
archery, and we used
I
it
did very well, actually.
kind of a lifetime sport, I guess they called it. You know, and it was with golf and archery.
You know, archery is very much like it is sort of a martial art as
Yeah.
well.
Is it
It's
really?
more of the discipline, control, and everything. So, yeah, in fact,
I can
think
see it.
ancient Japan, I think that was their art.
I can see
I
where
like it.
archery,
It's
you know,
fun.
and
Competitive,
at
very
some point
competitive.
in our history, I mean, in the history of mankind,
Right.
you know, before gunpowder and before guns,
Yeah.
hey, the archers were the guys, man.
Oh, yeah.
Archers, you know, with the bow, that's how they did it. So,
And you get
anyway.
the point, for sure.
yeah, you get the point.
Ba-dum-bum. Hence,
Another-
King
Hence
of
the
Fun.
gold medal
For puns, sorry.
for winning the puntathlon. Steve,
And I do throw fits, so by
Steve,
the way.
you are the best. All right, we've got plenty of photographs to get to.
We do.
It's 7:15. We don't want to wait too much longer
we
before
got a
we
call.
open up our phone lines.
Wow.
Look at this.
Line
It looks like we've got a caller. Do we know who that caller might be?
I can't hear.
All right, well,
Oh,
if you'll get
boy.
that photograph ready and that graphic ready, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes here on the Tampa Native
We
Show,
get
magic
lucky.
does happen. And we'd like to ask Steve to go ahead, and if you'll get that graphic up there, Steve, do what you do.
Let's do it. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, this is Brooke Bennett.
Hi, Brooke
Hi.
Bennett.
Hi, Brooke
Thank you
Bennett.
so
Thank you so
much.
much for calling the
Yes.
Tampa Native Show. How cool is this?
Very cool.
Brooke, can you hear us okay?
I can, yes.
We can
Good.
hear you as well, darling. Listen, we're just tickled pink that you got a chance to step out of your meeting for a moment to
Yes.
call. And when you get to see this show online, or when you get to see the replay of it next week, we've got a photograph of you, a beautiful photograph of you with your medals around your neck. And I want to say that's probably Atlanta. You've got no, this must be Sydney, because you've got 2 gold medals around you.
Yeah.
The 400 and the 800 meter gold medal. Listen, how was it swimming 800 meters? Can you just tell us? We'd like to know.
Well, it's the longest event for women in the Olympic Games, and for me, I pretty much knew I was going to be a distance swimmer from the time I was 10, 11 years old, and I always loved training for the distance events, and you get the opportunity to enjoy that Olympic experience for over 8 minutes, and it was just thrilling to represent the United States at the Olympic Games.
Well, if you could see me now, and my co-host can see me, I've got goosebumps, man.
think we all
It's just
do.
so cool being able to talk to
Yeah.
you. And, of course, we know that you had the opportunity to race against and to compete against Janet Evans.
Yeah.
And you won. You came out victorious, we might add. And you were there also at the beginning of Michael Phelps' illustrious career. What was a little bit of that like?
Well, it's interesting because, I couldn't be more happy if we talk about the current Olympic Games and we look at the swim team and Michael Phelps becoming the most decorated Olympian of all time. You look at Ryan Lochte and the feat what he's trying to accomplish. He's been to 3 Olympic Games, has 11 Olympic medals. He's a Florida boy. And then you look at 15-year-old Katie Ledecky, who wins the 800-meter freestyle.
Amazing.
And she brings that gold back to the United States, which hasn't been won since I did in 2000. And I just couldn't be happier for her. And I think it's kind of that, you look at Janet Evans and myself and Katie Ledecky, and you have 3 great distance swimmers of the USA, and she's kind of the new face. And, I watched Janet Evans and have idolized her, and she's been my hero throughout my entire career. Even though going to Atlanta and even though beating her and all those kinds of things, that's a competitive spirit between an athlete, but it doesn't take the fact away from what she accomplished for the sport of swimming. And when I recall watching her win in '88 in Seoul and going to my parents, I want to become an Olympic champion just like Janet Evans. And Katie Ledecky is now inspiring those next generation distance swimmers behind her.
How neat that you had the opportunity
Yeah.
to swim alongside of your idol and train alongside of her, because those of us that have dabbled in athletics throughout our lives, we dream about playing catch with Mickey Mantle or Willie Mays. You had a chance to swim right next to her. That's some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, I
Awesome.
had a couple of questions for you, Brooke. One of them is a swimming related question. One of them is, what do you remember most about growing up in Plant City? Is it the sweet smell of strawberries every March, February?
I think probably I lived at a dead end of an orange grove, and we drove past strawberry fields all the way to practice in Brandon. So I think it was the combination of smelling the orange blossoms and then the strawberry fields, and then knowing when they were out picking them and they were getting ready to harvest them. It was just, and Plant City was just home for me. It was a place for me that always kind of put their arms out and said, she's our accomplishment, and we want to cherish this moment and what she's accomplishing. And, I still live locally. I'm in Clearwater now, but as I tell everybody, it's like I will always be, that Plant City hometown girl. You can't take that away. That is my root.
Well,
Absolutely.
We're all proud of you.
We're all
We're
very,
very
very proud of you. And I was telling Steve and Sally both earlier today. I was kind of feeling a little bit down when I was putting the show together, and I said, I sent my message out in a bottle and nothing came back on the internet, so I'll just pick up the phone and I'll tell the audience now that's watching at home. I picked up the phone and I called Bright House Sports, which is where Brooke works, and they patched me through to the sports department, and the girl at the front desk, she patched me through to and this lady answers the phone. She goes, "Hi, this is Bright House Sports. This is Brooke. Can I help you?" And I'm thinking, "Excuse me?" I actually made it all the way through. So we couldn't be any happier that you decided to join us.
Yeah.
And,
I was actually getting ready. I was just standing up when that phone call came.
oh, wow.
That's amazing.
And I'm about to walk onto set to tape a preview for our home opener for our high school football games, and then of course do my Olympic sports minutes and stuff that I've been doing throughout the school Olympic games. And so I was like, I'll just grab this real quick. And
oh my! Well, it was meant to be.
That.
It was
Yeah.
meant to be,
It really
Brooke.
was.
The last question I have for you, darling. It's a personal question that I thought up in my own little brain, and it's can you empathize at this point, I guess, a little bit with what Michael Phelps is feeling, in that, he's been in the water for so much of his life and he's accomplished so much that at this point maybe he just wants to kind of try something a little bit different and maybe, stay on dry land for a little while.
No, I absolutely agree with Michael Phelps, and I think when you look at his career and his accomplishments, at first I questioned him competing at the 2012 games because I go, okay, you finish on top, 8 golds, 8 world records. What is it that you're going to do? But to then leave your Olympic career with 22 medals, 18 gold medals. I mean, 18. I go, and I put my 3 on, and I'm like, and they're like, that's amazing. I'm like, could you imagine what my 3 looks like next to his 18?
Must be awful heavy, those 18 medals.
I definitely agree with him. I still question that in my mind, will he ever come back? Because I'll tell you, I from the sport of swimming in 2008, I just came out of retirement and back in the water training and competing again. But I've also been able to step away. Like you said, I am a sports broadcaster at Bright House Sports Network. So I'm now living that life, and I'm going, okay, what's the balance between me being a sports athlete and me being a swimmer and me also being a sports reporter? And I'm trying and I'm working, and I think I've found that balance. And I think that's what Michael needs to do. He has devoted so much of his life to swimming. He needs to find that balance. And I don't want him to fear swimming, because I think so many times we as athletes, we devote so much of our life to swimming that we go, okay, well, we're just going to step away from it, and we're not going to have that anymore. But I want him to find that balance, and I think that's important for him.
That's
He's
great.
a good guy, too.
And he seems to be a good guy and grounded, and we love to watch him compete, and it's awful selfish of us to ask him to do more than he's already done. I'm just going to leave it at that. Brooke, can I just say that on behalf of the Tampa Native Show, all of her fans, thank you so much for taking of your time to step out of that meeting to call us, and we'd like to extend the invitation whenever you can, or you feel like you can fit it into your schedule. Come do our little show here with us, and we'll talk some more swimming and some more growing up in Plant City.
I'd love to hear more about that.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you,
Thank
Brooke.
you. We're so proud of you. Thank you, sweetie.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Congratulations.
so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Isn't that
How about
just
that?
about the coolest thing,
That is
man? I got
An
to
Olympic
Look at the
swimmer.
goosebumps.
Holy
Olympic
cow.
gold medalist
That's
calling the
amazing.
Tampa Native Show. There she
That
is
is so
right
cool.
there.
Look at
All
that.
right, so we're off and
Calls
running.
are hot and heavy.
Let's go ahead
Yeah.
and start rolling through those pictures, because
Got a
we've
lot.
got some amazing ones that we don't want to leave any one of them out. The first one right there is
Oh, this is perfect.
a magnificent photograph of Cassius Clay,
Yes.
a very young 19-year-old gold medal winning Cassius Clay, and he's standing alongside of Eddie Crook and Skeeter McClure. Dr. Skeeter McClure ended up going on to become a doctor, a medical doctor, after his days in the Olympics. But look at that magnificent.
Look at
That's 19 years old. That's Cassius Clay when he competed in the 1960 Olympics. Steve, you know where those games were played?
1960. That was Rome.
Oh, you
Oh, yeah,
look at
there's-
your
How
notes.
old
That's the
was he
Coliseum.
there?
19.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing? Hey, we got a caller. You want to take
Let's
that
take
call?
it. Let's take it.
Is it time to take that call? All right, we're still getting information. But
Okay.
look at this picture right here. This is Wilma Rudolph, the fastest woman on the planet. Back again, this is in 1960. She ran in the 1960 Olympics. And you know, I digress a minute, and I didn't want to say this later in the show, but I'll say it now. You know, back when we were watching the Olympics, everything was new. Sort of like our Tampa Native Show theme song. Back when we were younger, and everything's new.
That sounds just like it, doesn't it?
Yep. You had to consider that there were not that many sports involved in the games,
Right.
total numbers of sports, and because TV was in its infancy, the magic of being able to sit in front of your television and watch a black and white image, grainy, live via satellite, it never meant anymore, those little words up in the corner, live via satellite, and watch these Olympic champions do what they did. It was inspiring. It was awe-inspiring.
It
was exciting.
On so many levels, it was awe-inspiring because you had the TV thing, and then you had the athletics thing, and America was still in 1960.
Yeah.
All that promise. This is, of course, Smoking Joe. I was going to say Marvelous
Joe
Marvel.
Frazier.
This
Joe
is
Frazier.
Smoking Joe Frazier, who won in the 1964 games. The 1964 games, Steve, which took place
That was in Tokyo.
Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, yeah. I'm on it tonight.
Smoking Joe.
Because I have no clue.
Look at Smoking Joe. Let's go ahead and
Take
take that call real quick.
By the way, TV was free back then, too, when we were watching it.
TV
Yes,
was
TV
absolutely
was
free,
free.
man. All you
Can
needed
you
was a
believe
little,
that?
I know.
you
Rabbit
needed
ears
some
and that was
rabbit
it.
Television?
Maybe a little aluminum foil.
There's always a fly on the antenna.
That's Bullet Bob Hayes, by the
Ready?
way. Go ahead, Stevie.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, guy. Joe Beanie.
Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Beanie.
Joe Beanie, how are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
It looks like this is a great night.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
I know.
Well,
Look at- What'd
We're
you think?
medal winners.
We kicked
What
off,
could be
first
better?
of all, we're gold medal winners. Second of all, we kicked off the show with a call from Brooke Bennett. And right after that, a call from Joe Beanie. What gets any better
It
than
doesn't
that?
get any better than that.
Yeah, I'm not at any caliber as her, so.
Hey, right there, Joe.
Right.
You're our gold medal
Right.
coach. Hey,
You're our gold medal fan.
that gold medal, look at you. Look at
Man.
you.
That's
why I'm here, dear.
Ring the
If
bell.
if you could compete in the Olympics, Joe, what would you do?
Well, after they took baseball away, I'd probably do boxing because we were, my dad, my uncle, battling Oscar was a boxer. My dad's uncle, right, my grandmother's brother was a professional boxer in Tampa.
Do we know his
know that.
name? Did we get his
What
name
was
earlier?
his name?
It's on my Facebook thing. I have an article that he started working for the city of Tampa, but he was, I'm talking probably the 40s and 50s. He was a professional boxer in Tampa.
What weight class? Do you remember, Joe?
He would have been a lightweight or featherweight.
Lightweight, featherweight. Let's do a little bit of research on that,
Interesting.
because one thing we know for sure, we have a very strong tradition, and I think it tied directly to our Cuban
Boxing.
roots and our Latin roots here in Tampa. We had a lot of good athletes come out of here, and most of them, and a lot of them back in the early days, because there was only boxing, horse racing, and baseball. At one point in America, those were the three prize sports that we looked after, and it was baseball, of course, boxing. Think of the Joe Louis days. And horse racing, which we've always had, the sport of kings. So you would have been a boxer, huh, Joe?
Yeah, my dad also was the recreation department champion from Grady Playground. I want to say 1931, 30.
That's pretty cool.
Something like that, yeah. So, yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a feeling Joe would have been a good boxer, too.
I
Yes,
have a
I
feeling.
can see
I
him
have
as
a
a
feeling.
boxer.
I have a feeling.
I could see
I
him
wouldn't
with the
want to
gloves
square
on
up
right
against
now.
you, Joe.
No.
Hey, did we put you down for that Bolita number?
Yeah, I was going to say that I got home late last week and got there for the Bolita drawing, and Steve pulled out a number 3 right on. There was no
Yeah, how
number.
about that?
Oh, man.
no.
Yeah.
And you know what? We made comment on that, too.
That's right.
Because Joe's always there. We got to go back to this picture real quick and talk a little bit about that. That's the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City. And one of the images that arguably is burned into
I remember
everybody's.
that vividly.
That's John Carlos and Tommy Smith. They got the shoes off, and of course, they were suspended after
Caused
that.
a lot of controversy.
Yeah, that was 1968, man. That was a rough year. We lost Martin Luther King that year. We lost Robert Kennedy that year. We landed on the moon that year as well.
That
But
went on.
Mexico City Olympics, and I think I might have missed the picture with Bob Beeman setting the Olympic record for the long jump. But Joe, we appreciate you more than you know.
We do. I'm going to
sure
put
do.
Keith
We got
down
Keith
for
at number
7.
7 and Joe for number 3.
Yep, got it. All right, see you soon, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you,
Bye,
brother. And we
Joe.
found out a fun fact tonight about Joe Abini that we didn't know before.
We
did.
He likes boxing.
That's interesting. You know what we didn't do?
Thanks, Joe.
We didn't get Brooke's Bolita number.
Oh, we
Oh.
didn't.
Okay.
Hang up that
Got
mic,
another call.
Stevie. You got to pay attention.
Oh, here we go.
You got to pay attention.
That's it. Ready?
I'm going to take your phone
Here we
privileges
go.
away.
Here we go.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, good evening. This is Hugh from South Tampa.
Hey,
Good
Hugh
evening,
from South
Hugh
Tampa.
Perrette.
We didn't
How
get a
are
radio
you?
number. You're right.
Well, I was going to do a voice, but I think this show deserves a lot better than that.
Oh, you can do a voice
what are you
anytime,
talking
man.
about?
You know
Your
that.
voice. We love your voices.
He's great.
It was great. Actually, you had the person I really wanted to hear, and that was Brooke Bennett.
There you go.
Nice.
That was just awesome. I was going to give her as one of my fondest memories of the Olympics.
Yeah.
The pride of being someone local and such a sweetheart, such well-spoken, soft-spoken,
Pretty girl, too.
Pretty girl. Look at her right there.
Yeah.
and to the accomplishment that she did, and also the improbable. Of course, the 1980, and even though it doesn't have an especially Tampa connection, but the 1980 dream, the improbable win
Do you believe in miracles?
for the hockey team.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think everybody remembers that.
Sure,
That's-
we're gonna get back to that because we'll probably do a show
Winter
because
Olympics.
we'll be on the air for the next 15 years, Hugh. So you better take care of yourself. And we got a lot of shows to do,
But
and
that
we'll
was
talk
an
about the
awesome
Winter
interview.
Olympics
I was
as well.
surprised that, I didn't think you were going to have it. That was great. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very good, very nice to hear.
Well, that's etching our brains.
We got
Yeah.
real lucky on that one.
Yeah, we really did. And
Very
we're showing
sweet.
a picture here in 1968. I believe it was 68, Stevie, or
You know what?
72?
That was actually 68.
In
Mexico City.
1968, highlight, which they called basque pelota back then, or
Yeah.
it was a demonstration sport,
Spanish
so they were
ball.
testing it out to see if it might go over well enough at the Olympics. So in 1968, and then again, I think I
Interesting.
want to say in 1984, it was a demonstration sport. I guess it never caught on because we never. But you know what? Today you've got 82 different,
Yeah.
165
Too many.
sports. You got sports in
many.
there that are the most ridiculous sports ever.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why not highlight?
I want to see baseball come back.
Baseball and softball
Yeah,
as
that
well.
would be cool.
Yeah.
And softball as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hugh, did we get your Bolita number?
Bolito number is going to be 23.
23.
And this is a great question.
Oh, that's
Anybody
right.
care to guess what Hugh would do? Hugh,
I know.
If you could participate in the Olympics, let us guess first. Now, don't. We know you pretty well,
Okay,
Hugh.
let's
Go
take
ahead.
a guess. I say track.
Track. Hurdles.
I know Hugh. Hugh's kind of one of those limber, lithe, kind of jumping around kind of guys. I see him setting world records. Him and Sergei Bubka on the pole vault.
Oh, the pole vault.
Go ahead, Hugh. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong.
Or the high
As soon as
jump.
they bring back a baseball, I'm a shortstop.
All right. Well, you and Joe Beanie, man. You want baseball back? Okay, we'll give you baseball. Thanks, Hugh.
Thank you,
You
Hugh.
want to hear the voice anyway? I'll do it.
Of
You want
course.
to hear it?
All right, go ahead.
Here you go. Hiya, Joe. Hello, Mr. Donahue.
Hi, you Joe.
Been hanging around the house, Joe, watching the Tampa Native Show. Ain't been doing nothing. Just hanging around watching the Tampa Native Show. I asked myself, Craze, what you been doing other than watching the Tampa Native Show? I said, nothing.
Hugh, you need to make a
Very
CD.
You're the
good,
best.
Hugh.
You're the
Very
best.
good.
Gotta make-
I'm singing a little song for Donahue and me.
That's crazy.
Oh, I'll be loving you always. Good night, everybody.
Thank you,
Great,
Hugh. We
Hugh.
appreciate
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a bell rung on that one.
Bye.
Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.
That's none other than Olga Corbett there in the 1972
She was
Olympics.
fantastic.
Oh, yeah. What, she was
raised,
18 or so?
She
Yeah.
raised the bar considerably.
did.
when you-
Literally.
Yep, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
I mean, when she did what she did, I think, and I saw a little documentary piece
That was
on
a
her.
great show,
You know,
yeah.
she raised the bar for young girls everywhere.
And
you
for
know?
the style, too.
And
Changed it a little
yep,
bit.
and the floor exercise.
Yeah.
And we've got another caller. We should probably take that call right
Yes.
quick.
The
And then I've
calls-
got a quick comment. Go ahead,
Also
Steve.
hot and heavy. Let's go. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
It's Tom from New York.
Hey, Tom.
Tom.
From New
We
York.
were wondering when you're going to call in.
How you doing,
Good.
folks?
Good, yourself?
How about you?
I am doing just fantastic.
Good.
Great
Tom.
show tonight.
Thanks.
Good.
Thank you.
I did not expect Brooke Bennett from 1996 Olympian to call in. That blindsided me right.
Yeah.
We kept it
Great
secret from
work,
you.
great work on that.
We got it
Yes.
going on like that here
Yeah.
at the Tampa Native Show, man.
We
you
got
know what?
connection.
Every once in a while, we pull a rabbit out of our hat. That was a big rabbit.
It was. At just the right time.
And Mario, that circular breathe, was it circular talking? I think.
Yeah, isn't that good? Isn't that good?
Continuous talking.
I am.
I've coined a new phrase: circular talking.
Circular talking. Yeah, that's it. Captain Bun over there.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
know.
he's the best.
But you were in the wrong competition. You should have been. I look really great competition.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, I know. Thank you.
Hey, we've got our red, white, and blue on, man.
mean,
So,
that's-
so tell us, if you could be an Olympian and you can't play the guitar in the Olympics because they don't have that competition, what would you do?
I'd be competing against Steve
In a pun off, so to speak?
Oh, okay.
in a sparring competition.
Oh, no.
sparring
Wait a
competition.
minute. You didn't do Taekwondo too, did you?
Oh, did you do Taekwondo as well?
I did Taekwondo when I was younger, but I did
Karate?
I did Kung Fu, Shotokan,
Oh, wow.
The grasshopper on the phone.
other classes.
Nice.
Wrestled in martial arts when I was very young. So
Nice.
Man, you know what? We'll have to do that, Tom.
Some of us went
have to
to
do that.
Well, that's SmackDown.
Some of us here went to Ed Maley's Florida School of Judo for a little while too. Well, you know, we were growing
Oh, yeah?
up.
I
trying
didn't
to,
go.
Yeah, man, on Saturday mornings,
That
go
was a
over there and do a
landmark.
couple of key eyes on that mat over there, McDill.
What about that Yi Shuen, that girl that could swim
swimmer?
faster than boys? And they did a drug test on her just to see. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, she her last 50, I think, in the 800 meters or something was faster than her first 50, and they were thinking, wow, this can't be. But you know, the athletes are getting better trained, better nutrition. They're younger, and the equipment is, well, of course, in the water, the equipment is the
Every
suit,
year
and that's
it
just about it.
improves.
But technique-wise, I mean, you see it, that they're shaving every year, either
Yeah.
hundreds or thousands of seconds off. My
They're
question is...
shaving themselves.
Oh, they're shaving themselves, too?
Let's hope so.
I mean, leave it to the 15-minute girl to make that observation, for crying out loud. But here we go. I'm just trying to figure out how much more can we pare this thing down. You know, I mean, you know, we've just about, you get to the point where, for instance, I mentioned the pole vault a minute ago. You know, the body mass, the athlete himself can only be so big because he's got to be big enough and strong enough. Then that's Vasily
guy here.
Alexiev. Then at the same time, the pole has to be strong enough to hoist him up the 19 and a half feet that's the world record currently. And then, you know, at one point, you can't go any higher, man, because the athlete's got to be bigger, the pole's got to be stronger. You know, at some point you reach, that's it.
Maximum.
Then you're going up in thousandths of an inch. That's Teofilo Stevenson right there.
What about this photo?
Can we get your...
Reach the potential. You reach a potential.
Yeah, you
and,
reach the end of that. I mean,
we're
I,
evolving as humans. We evolve. We're evolving.
Yeah.
exactly right. Exactly
And
right.
so is technology.
So we got you down for Taekwondo because you're going to be sparring off with Steve, and your Bolita number 42.
It's going to be 42. You
All righty then.
42
Some
Tom.
things don't
Put you
change.
down.
Thank you, Tommy. We
Thanks,
appreciate
need to
Tom.
you.
add beer pong to the Olympic stuff.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
next.
Oh, that's
next.
all
That's
we
next.
need.
Beer pong.
Right after the beer pong, the same people are going to be competing in the drunken three-legged race.
That'll be the winner.
But here's a
out for that
legitimate
one.
question for you. Here's a legitimate question for you. Are we too far away from seeing competitive eating in the Olympics?
We already have, well, not
In the Olympics. Are
You
we?
and I just chatted about that today, believe it or not.
I'm just saying, you know, we make such a
I
grand...
don't want to see that.
I don't want to
That's
see
not
it
good.
either, but we make such a grand spectacle of it.
No.
Are we that far away from it? And,
Not that
Tommy,
far.
we'll let you go. I'm going to throw this question out there to the rest of the viewers. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
Bye, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
See you later.
Thank you. I'm going to throw this question out there to the rest of the viewers. And, of course, that's the 1972 Munich games when we had that
Yes,
horrible
very.
event.
That photo's etched in our minds as
Yeah,
well.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's really, really one of those that, you know, we just can't forget.
Not a
And of
good
course, this 1976, our decathlete Bruce Jenner, who is now
Right.
Married to
Mr.
a
Kardashian.
Kardashian.
Mr. Kardashian. Yeah, he's the Kardashian's
Looks a lot
stepfather.
different, though.
He's had a little work done.
Too much.
But back in '76, he was looking real good. Here's a question for you, next caller, or those callers that are out there waiting to call in. Maybe you can answer this for us. What is our obsession? What is our obsession with taking a ball and throwing it into a net, or kicking it into a net, or hitting it with our head into a net? And let me explain. If you think of the number of sports that are there at the Olympics currently, there's soccer, men and women. There's water polo, men and women. There is something that's called handball, and that's men and women as well, where the object is to throw the ball in. You can put basketball in there because, you know, you're still hoisting the basketball into the hoop, which is adorned with
A net.
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 Hoist and away.
and the other one is volleyball. Again, where you strike a ball and it goes over on the other side of the net. So you've got all these. What is our obsession?
Which was the first?
Lacrosse. Lacrosse could be thrown in there, although it's not an Olympic sport, lacrosse. And then the ultimate bizarre game of all, handball took special
That's
category
strange.
for bizarreness. But what is up with field hockey? What is up? I take a page off of Dan Perez's playbook and I say, hey man, can I get a longer stick? Because my back hurts just watching these guys run and gals run up and down because I got a little stick. Give them a long stick. Oh, we get it. You got to pat it down the field and then hit it into the net. Again, ball into the net.
Yeah.
Can I get a longer stick?
What
All
was
right.
the first
I'm
net
off my
and ball
soapbox.
game?
First, excuse me?
Net and ball game.
She says. I think it was football. Soccer as we knew it.
Okay.
Soccer as
so
we know it.
maybe after that they just kind of.
It just
well,
evolved.
that's cool. Let's do this
But
with the ball in the net.
that's what I'm
Just
saying.
progressed.
But watch handball. Handball is the most ridiculous,
That is
preposterous thing.
strange.
The games are 25 to 23 because the goalie has no shot.
And
Get that
they
call.
dribble the ball like in basketball.
They dribble it,
Then
they roll it, it's
toss
funky.
it to each other.
Call
It's-
on line
it's bizarre.
4.
We got a
Stevie,
caller.
Go to the call.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Bruce Krentzman, South Tampa.
Well,
Hey,
hey there,
Bruce,
Bruce. How are
Bruce.
you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How y'all doing?
Thanks for
Good.
calling in.
Good, good. Great to hear from you.
Yes.
Definitely.
I had a little Olympic story.
Please.
Last year I sent you the article about it when I went to Moss Brothers in the 70s when Mark Spitz was having an autograph session, and he was running 25 minutes late coming from another Moss Brothers in Sarasota. And I was going through University Mall, ran into a fraternity brother that was a sheriff in uniform, went up the escalator. Andy Hardy was the MC,
Wow.
Andy Hardy.
Oh, neat.
and Mark was running 25 minutes late. And since I was with a cop and I kind of looked just like Mark Spitz,
You had
they grabbed me and took me to the podium.
Wow.
Spoke for about 20 minutes until Mark arrived.
That
Dead ringer from Mark
The
Spitz.
article last year, I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, no, I remember the
Yeah.
story. As you're telling us the story, I absolutely remember the
is.
story.
I remember the picture too.
Yep.
It made headlines of the Tampa Tribune sports section the next
Yep.
morning. They referred to me as the friendly imposter.
You look just like him. You really did.
Brother, but that's not a bad thing,
Yeah,
man.
no.
You know,
Yeah.
back in the day, there were two posters that I think a lot of teenage girls and boys had. The
don't
girls,
look like that guy.
the girls had Mark Spitz's poster.
we had the Farrah Fawcett.
And the boys had Farrah Fawcett's, man,
I
because it
did
was
not
about the
have
same
Mark
time,
Spitz's.
you know?
I still have mine.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you know, 7 gold medals, and you know, everybody had a mustache after that, man. Come on now.
I had mine first.
Yeah, all right, there you go, there you go.
So Mark Spitz is the imposter.
Well,
Exactly.
Bruce, if you had an opportunity to participate in the Olympics, what event would you be champion of?
I guess swimming.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
let's hear
well.
it for swimming. We got you down for swimming. And your Bolita number?
19.
19.
Great number,
That's
man.
my
Great number.
son's
Good to hear from you,
number.
Bruce.
Great to have you calling
Yes,
us, man.
yes.
We appreciate it. We flushed you out with that Olympic story that Mark
I was
Spitz looked at.
debating, but I went ahead and gave you the
Don't
Evelyn
you-
Woods version.
Sure.
That's great.
Don't you ever debate calling this
Exactly.
show, man.
Yes.
We always have a line open for you, so something pops across your head, you call
And
him.
he
We
has a
like
lot
hearing from you.
He has a lot of great stories too, and a lot of cool pictures.
Yes, he
does,
does. Now listen,
does.
we're trying, again, sometimes we're successful, sometimes not, but we're trying to contact Mr. Robacani, and he's
Right.
going to come on and do the show with us the next time he's in the area. So on that particular night, you definitely have to call in and share some of your stories.
Yeah, I've got a Rubiconi story up
There
my
you
sleeve.
go.
Good.
You got some pictures too with those suits on.
Great looking
Yep,
pictures,
yep,
man.
the leisure suit.
Thank you,
70s.
Bruce. Thanks so much for
Thanks,
calling.
Bruce.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye
Bruce.
now.
Yeah, the disco show we did for the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce
That
gave
was
us a bunch of
fun.
photos
Oh,
from
yeah,
that, man.
yeah.
That was a fun show.
It was
He
tremendous.
had a great time in the 70s.
Yeah.
Listen, that photograph there, take us out of here for just a second and let people feast their eyes on that. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that may not recall, that's the 1980 games, man, and I was in
It
Moscow.
looks like Cheetos or something on it.
I think it's
it
just a
looks like a
globe
pizza.
or something. You hungry, baby? Is that why? You hungry?
No, it just looks
Take
like
you out to eat after
Cheetos
we get
to
out of
me.
here. No, it's the 1980 games were in Moscow, and of course we boycotted because that was the time when a lot of
Yes.
political strife and the Afghanistan invasion
Yeah,
by
we're
Russia.
still
and,
got political strife.
yeah, but again, talking about the Olympics. Thanks, guys, for taking us out of that photo for a second. But talking about the Olympics, in the early days and now, as compared to now, you know, there were like everything else, man. Here comes the PSA, the public service announcement. Back in those days, you know, we didn't have much, but we had everything.
Yes,
And today, seemingly, we have everything,
too much.
but we don't have anything.
Don't appreciate much.
We had, you know, the Olympics were every 4 years, where now they're every 2 because they staggered them now, so they can sell more stuff, presumably. So the Winter Olympics will be coming up in 2 more years. So we had to wait 4 years, man,
Yeah.
to see the Winter and the Summer Games at the same time. It was something worth waiting for. Then there were fewer events, so every event had significance and meaning. And now, you know, we've gone to the point where, like everything else, man, we've got
A little watered down.
Too much.
too much.
to do.
We got too much.
That's like when we used to wait for the fair every year.
Same
That
thing.
was the big thing. You
Same
know?
thing.
We couldn't wait for the fair to get here.
And it's even
Now
hard.
there's
It's even hard to
everywhere,
pick,
stuff
sorry,
everywhere.
baby. It's even hard to pick what to watch because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And does equestrian, forgive me, does equestrian really belong?
Oh.
And don't send
Don't
me
even-
nasty emails.
don't even go
send me
there.
nasty emails for my equestrian fans out there.
No.
Listen, I can dig horses, man. Horses are cool. But is it an Olympic event? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we're at the 15-minute mark.
We're
What does
there
that
already.
mean? What does that mean?
Remember
Yeah.
that? That's one of my long-standing fits, I think.
Yeah, because you're
That's
angry
Yeah,
because,
because I don't
we just
have
rolled
my
right over
15
that.
minutes anymore. It's just like, whoop.
Darling, who's that in that photograph right there?
Carl Lewis.
got
Very
it.
good. Carl Lewis, man.
Good.
1984,
for me.
Los Angeles.
1984 Los Angeles Games. He had his little kid and play haircut there.
There
Let's go
she
through
is.
these pictures quickly
Yes,
before
yes,
we
we
get
got some
done.
great ones here.
This is 1984 as well. This is the
That was a
Sweetheart.
Mary
great
Lou Retton.
time.
Gymnastics.
That was a good team.
Well, who can
Okay,
forget?
now-
Lou Gaines.
Yes, and that's the diving board at the very
Yeah,
far
that's
left.
the
Yeah.
infamous bonk on the head.
That's where he got hit in the head.
That's where I think Greg Lougain is famous for a couple
He
of
had
things.
great legs, though. Man, look at those
One
legs.
of them, he hit his head on the diving board, and the other one is he hit his head on the diving board.
Yeah.
This is, of course, the Dream Team. This is '92. This is Barcelona, is it not, Steve?
That's
Larry
Barcelona.
Bird.
You got it.
Look at the talent in that photograph.
Larry
Look, it's
Bird.
Charles Barkley,
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird.
Who's the little white guy?
Charles Barkley.
Wait a minute.
In the front.
Michael Jordan right there in the middle, number
Yeah.
9.
Who's the one
Karl
down the
Malone.
front?
That is cool.
Oh, that's John Stockton in the front.
Oh.
Scottie Pippen. What an amazing.
What a team.
Clyde Drexler.
And-
Hence the Dream Team.
And those scores were like no competition.
No. It's the first
Zero.
year the first year the pros were allowed to play. This is Carrie Strug.
Yep.
Carrie Strug, who won the gold medal, best all around
That
for
was
her team with
in
that
Atlanta?
particular vault.
Yes, with her amazing thing with her breaking her ankle.
Yep.
Or
Oh, yes.
She severed her Achilles on that.
Yeah.
That's
vault.
why she's on one foot now.
Yep.
3 times, didn't she?
And then it effectively ended her career. This is Rulon Garden, is it?
Rulon Gardner.
Gardner.
Sydney,
excuse me.
2000.
Yep, Sydney 2000. So
it
in
weightlifting?
Sydney 2000, Brooke was there with Rulon. Yep, no, wrestling,
was it?
Greco-Roman
Oh,
wrestling.
wow.
And he
Yeah.
beat the Russian that year, and the Russian had never been beaten. The Russian was like the most amazing
He loved to beat
wrestler.
Belaruski.
He beat the Ruski that
Well,
night.
there was always that competition because of the old hockey. Remember that?
Yeah.
The 70s. That was still kind of lingering
Well,
at that
you know,
event, I'm sure.
we couldn't.
you know?
When there was the political strife going on at the times,
Mm-hmm.
and there was the Cold War and all those different, and if you remember, our fiercest competition in the early days of Olympic competition, our fiercest competitors was always the Soviet Union.
Right, 'cause
Yes.
It wasn't the Federation of Russia; it was the
Yeah.
Soviet Union.
Yes.
And the reason they were so good is because the Soviet Union hadn't broken up yet, so they were
Yeah.
able to draw from all of those countries the best athletes.
One more thing. One reason why I heard they were always good growing up as a kid, I don't know if it's just my parents telling me this, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have jobs. Their job full time, the Russian
That
government
makes
paid
sense.
them
Well, isn't
to
the
train all the
Chinese-
time.
Well, they did that in
Chinese
Cuba.
kind of like that too.
In
They take
Cuba
them
and
Yeah,
in
that's
China
probably
as
true.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
in Cuba as well. With the athletes, the boxers, and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Michael Phelps,
There he is.
the most decorated. You heard Brooke talking about him earlier. The most decorated
So happy for
Olympic
him.
athlete. And you know what, man? Michael, go do whatever you want to
Right.
do, my brother. Go do
Relax with
whatever
whatever you need to relax with.
Relax with whatever you can relax.
If you
But
catch
you know what I
my
mean?
drift.
Yeah, because we appreciate you, dude.
Yes.
You did so much. You gave us so much
It's amazing.
pride and hope, and
Yeah.
and although you're 27 years old and you can compete in the next Olympics if you wanted to, man, there's no reason to.
He said he wants to do some traveling.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. He wants to travel, and
Yeah.
I believe he
You should.
he wants to get in the shark cage, if you can believe that. He wants to
Oh.
go to South Africa or Australia, Great Barrier Reef, and he wants to get.
Great white?
Yep.
Oh, no.
think
He wants to
I'll
be in the
pass on
cage,
that.
though. He wants to be in the cage.
Oh.
In the water and in
I
the
wouldn't
cage,
even wanna be
and
there.
swim with the great whites. Go get him, Mikey. We're on your team, brother.
There.
Those were some pretty cool pictures and some pretty
This is a
amazing.
pretty fast show.
Amazing
By the way.
memories of the Olympics. Now, we got to talk a little bit about this image here.
Yeah, Clay-
This
Clay
gentleman
Caldwell.
here, Stevie.
Clay Caldwell, 2012, London.
He's
There we
competing
are.
right now.
Yeah.
He's competing.
As
I
we
hope he's
speak.
still. I hope he's still in the running for a medal. He was as of last night. He's from Brandon.
I
So,
love the divers. It's
Chances
so
are either he went to Brandon,
amazing.
possibly Durant. Well, diving.
I don't even know how they get up there so high to begin with, and then they have to do all these little flippity flips and
Mm-hmm.
land a certain way and no splash.
I
It's
would-
amazing.
I would belly flop every time.
Well, the Chinese.
I would turn around and get off.
Yeah, the 3 meter platform. I guess.
No,
the
no,
10 meter
no,
platform.
thank
The
you.
10 meter platform. A meter being 39 inches, right? So that's over. That's
No.
30 feet off the water, man.
No. No,
And
thank
you know,
you.
by the time you hit the water, you're going up to 100
Yeah.
miles an hour. You know,
Yeah.
and the Chinese do
And they
it
make it look
flawlessly.
so easy.
Okay, but then you've got synchronized swimming. Can we talk for a minute about synchronized swimming? What's going
That's
on with
amazing.
synchronized
That's
swimming?
amazing.
I didn't watch that.
I mean,
I'm not a fan
there's
of
synchronized swimming today. There was
swimming.
something I was watching for a minute where the girls came out from dressed perfectly the same. They were all 5'7", 120 pounds, and they had these orbs with them, balls, if you
Okay.
will, orbs, and they would perform a choreographed dance with the orbs, and they got judged on that. So I'm just saying,
And
there's a lot of sports, man. Okay, so you've got gymnastics, which is really, really dangerous for those of you that don't think about
And
the
very
danger
skilled.
involved.
Yeah.
And I can see why gymnastics, you don't last that long because it is hard on your body.
Yeah.
Where swimming, you're in the water, man.
Right.
The buoyancy, and you can go longer periods of time. We got one more
We
call
got a
before
call.
we get to our Bolita draw.
We sure do.
line
Take
number
that.
4.
Let's take it. Oops. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, Stephen, Mario, and Sally. It's Jim from Columbia.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim from
Jim.
Palmacia. How you doing, brother?
How's it going?
How you guys doing?
We're doing
Good.
good, man. We're talking about the Olympics tonight. You got an Olympic story for us?
Well, being the former guy in news, I've got to bring up a story that you may not remember, but it is an Olympic story of sorts.
Okay.
It's a tragic story, and can't let the show go without mentioning. Remember Bruce Kimball, the diver?
Oh, yeah.
I do
Of course.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Brandon. He was from Brandon.
Automobile accident?
Automobile accident, 1988, ran into a bunch of teenagers, killed 2, injured
Yep.
several others.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
He derailed his career.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember, and for whatever reason, it's foggy a little bit, but there may have been some drugs or alcohol involved, and I think maybe even he had a problem with the alcohol or something. There was some mitigating circumstance that obviously caused him to do that crazy thing, but
There was alcohol involved there,
Yeah,
Mario. You're
yeah,
right. There
yeah.
was alcohol involved. He
Bruce
was
Kimball.
in Brandon trained for the Seoul Games. He had been
That's right.
a diver in '84, training for the '88 Games, and crashed into a bunch of teens that were in a residential neighborhood off of over there in Bloomingdale.
Yep.
Bloomingdale,
Yep. No, I remember. Absolutely remember, man.
terrible.
I mean, those things happen. Life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
But we were talking about just before you came on with us. There are certain countries, Russia, Cuba, China, come to mind, where you're born into an Olympic situation, if you will, where the government takes you as a small child and trains you to be
Right.
an Olympic champion, and that's your life. And thank goodness, I guess in this country we have other options, but I don't know what it must be like to be a part of that fraternity, to be an
Yeah.
Olympic athlete.
It has to be really
And
cool.
I'm going to digress for a minute. Then we're going to have to get to the Bolita drawing. But see if you agree with me on this, Hoop. We're getting so spoiled in our country that just qualifying for the Olympics isn't enough. Just medaling isn't enough. It's like if you don't make gold, you suck. You know what I mean? Oh, you want a silver? Whatever. I'm just saying.
You're right.
It's an
It
amazing
is.
event. It's an amazing achievement just to qualify
Yes,
for
it
the
is.
U.S. Olympic team when you consider how many athletes
That's a
there
good
are.
point.
So much
then
work.
to qualify in your respective heats to then medal? Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on, man.
It's something else. It's something else.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Real quick, my number is 58.
We
and
got
I-
it.
58.
One more second. To remember the 30th anniversary of the Tampa Times, which folded this coming weekend. It's been 30 years since we lost our afternoon newspaper.
Wow.
And
that was a sad event because
yes.
we look forward to getting that.
I remember the Tampa
Throwing it out
Times.
there for you.
Thank you, Hoop.
Yeah.
We
Thank
appreciate
you,
that.
Jim.
Take care.
Adios, guys. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Bye
now.
bye.
Bye
Thank
now.
you. Well, you know what we're going to give away
that time.
today? It's that time.
Bolita.
Bolita.
Bolita,
We got these two wonderful packs of
we go.
Caracolillo coffee here. We're going to give these two away because you know what? It's delicious. You need to start your day with this. And oh, by the way, we can mail these to you if you're out of town. All right. Let's draw two. We'll give away both of those.
Am I drawing?
Yeah. Why don't you get in there and draw?
Now,
Okay, good
now
for
Tom has a
me.
bunch of these already, so we.
Okay.
If Tom wins, I'm drinking
Let's
his.
see. The number is 45.
Oh no.
He was
Oh,
42.
no.
42.
It's Tom.
Tom.
It's
Oh
Tom.
my God.
Without going
Tom,
over.
what is your
Go ahead.
trick?
Go ahead, Tom. I'm going to drink your coffee for you, brother.
I jinxed
That's
Tom, I
Tom.
think,
One more
in a
time.
good way.
One more time. Get in there, baby.
And Tom.
Can't
Way
be Tom
down
again.
at the
That's-
bottom.
Win a second
Okay.
one.
Can't be
Next
Tom again.
number is 10.
That's going to be...
Closest two without going over.
Joabini. No.
No, Keitha.
Keitha.
Keitha, all right. Okay.
Same house.
Yeah, same house. Thank you, honey.
You
Thank
think
you.
Keith will let Joe drink some of the coffee?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And listen, by the way, Stevie, if you'll reach over there and grab that bag.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And if you'll pass that to me.
go.
Stevie, you hold that.
Yeah, let me hold
you can
that.
hold that.
I want to open.
Hold it right in there and show it into that 3 shot. There you go.
we
There's
go.
your 2 shot
Cassava.
right there. Just to let everybody know, excellent. Just to let everybody know, next week we're going to have the second part.
It's going to be part two.
Part two of our chiefless story. And Mrs. Argudo, the matriarch of the family, is going to be with us. Stephanie will be back with us as well. We're going to be talking about all things chiefless, an amazing product born right here in Tampa, Florida.
Made in Tampa, says it on the
just as is the Caracolillo coffee story.
Yes.
So we've got lots of great things upcoming to talk about, and we appreciate you guys being there with us.
It was a fun show.
I think so. If there's a topic, that you guys would like to see us cover, call us on our comment line, or send us an email there at show@tampanatives.com, and our comment line is 813-920-2508. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I don't forget anything.
Look at Best of the Bay.
What was that again?
Oh,
What was that?
yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, real quick. How much time I got? 2 minutes. Good. I gotta talk fast. Okay, what you see in front of me there is it's an award given away each year by the Creative Loafing magazine. It's called the Loafy. Last year we won a Loafy for the best public access TV show. You see it right there on your screen. We're soliciting for your help. We need your help. We need everybody to go to the Creative Loafing website.
Right.
And click on the Best of the Bay competition. Now, you won't find that category there because for some reason, strange reason, they omitted the Best Public Access TV show category this year because I knew we would have won it. So, what we need you to do is go to that website, answer a minimum of 20 questions. If you don't get to that 20 questions...
they're all varied kind of questions.
If you don't get to answer 20 questions, what happens is it doesn't qualify your entry. But make sure you get to the last page, and they'll give you an opportunity to write in the category. Write in Best Public Access TV Show, and then next to it, write in Tampa Native Show.
I think it says, oops, did we miss something?
Oops, did we miss
something?
something?
Did we miss a category?
So will you do that?
In.
Will you do that for us? And if you do, we're going to have a big party when they announce the winners later this year, because we really would like to win a second Loafy.
Yeah, we have a link for that on Facebook as well.
Next week we'll bring our Loafy in so we can show you. Can I say that on TV?
You just did.
Well, it's been another great show, another great Tampa Native show.
That was a good show.
We hope you enjoyed the opening. We
fast.
enjoyed bringing that to you, and thanks to Eric Cups, our technical director, who worked the Rays game today and came straight over from Tropicana Field.
And hello, Dory.
Thanks to Hello Dory for opening up our show like she always does. Tampa Steve, what can I say, brother?
I don't know. We got our medals.
Another great show.
I know. We're excited.
We're gold medal winners.
We're gold medal winners.
There we go.
And we'll be here next week, so tune in next week as well. On behalf of my co-host Tampa Steve and the 15-Minute Girl, I'm Mario Nunez. We'd like to say
salud and happy days.
We love you, Tampa.
And you know it.
See you next week.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, the city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, I remember, yeah, me and you. I'm a Tampa native, Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history.
All right now, don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Native Show.